On 24 October 2023, Pastor shared the following prophetic word. I saw a sports stadium packed to the rafters. Because of its shape, I knew it was the Stade de France where the Rugby World Cup final between South Africa and New Zealand will be held on Saturday. I then saw South African rugby fans in the stands dressed in Springbok jerseys. They were celebrating. It was as if the Boks were scoring try after try. I came out of that vision and then saw the same scene again. I saw Springbok fans in Springbok jerseys still celebrating. I then came out of that vision. And then the same vision repeated South African rugby fans celebrating even more. I then had the final vision where I saw Handré Pollard holding up the Webb Ellis Trophy with the rest of the team around him. I believe Handré Pollard will play a crucial role in this final. On 29 October 2023, this prophetic word was fulfilled.
South Africa pulled off a massive win in the Rugby World Cup final.
South Africa have beaten New Zealand 12 points to 11 to become world champions.
South Africa won their 4th Rugby World Cup title.
As per the prophetic word, Handré Pollard was pivotal in South Africa's win. On 1 December 2023, Pastor T.L. Immanuel shared this prophetic word. You'll begin to see South Africans of different colors, ages, genders, and backgrounds make their nation proud by dominating the world in many different disciplines. The world will begin to acknowledge, recognize, and respect this nation for making a mark in the world. When the prophetic word about the Boks winning the Rugby World Cup came to pass, I knew it was beginning to come to pass. Not only did they win it for a record 4th time, but it was also a back-to-back win. That's special. However, we're about to see much more from this nation in this season. So be on the lookout for South Africans competing with the world and coming out on top. This prophetic word was fulfilled.
Once again, he has made history and he has made us so proud. Congratulations, Trevor Noah. Oh, he's done it. Comedian Trevor Noah has bagged his Emmy. He received an Emmy Award for Best Variety Talk Series on behalf of The Daily Show.
Chauke arrived to a hero's welcome at the OR Tambo International Airport after he outpointed Khademi to claim the vacant IBO flyweight title.
Now, of course, congratulatory messages are streaming in for Grammy Award-winning artist Tyler. She scooped the prestigious award for Best African Performance.
On 15 July 2021, Pastor T.L. Immanuel released this prophetic word. Jacob Zuma is coming out soon. On 5 September 2021, this prophetic word was fulfilled.
Now, former President Jacob Zuma is a free man.
Our breaking news story tonight, former President Jacob Zuma has been placed on medical parole.
Former President Jacob Zuma released on medical parole.
On 6 January 2019, Pastor T.L. Immanuel released this prophetic word. Old African political leaders who led nations in other seasons will pass on this year because their assignment is over. This prophetic word was fulfilled.
Robert Mugabe, the former president of Zimbabwe, has died at the age of 95.
As former President Ben Ali has died in exile in Saudi Arabia.
Zambia has declared 3 weeks of mourning to honor the independence leader Kenneth Kaunda, who's died at the age of 97.
The retired President Daniel Arap Moi is dead.
The last white president of South Africa, F.W. de Klerk, has died at the age of 85.
On 20 January 2020, Pastor T.L. Immanuel shared this prophetic word. I am avenging the souls of indigenous populations. We should therefore expect those who suffered greatly under slavery, colonization, and apartheid to be recompensed for their losses. We'll begin to see government after government turn their focus on their indigenous populations and recompense them for their losses. Land will be returned, patents will be returned, resources will be returned, and guilt will be admitted by many governments. This prophetic word was fulfilled.
And back home, the new land courts will speed up claims and deliver justice to communities and families dispossessed by colonialism.
Now, the International Court of Justice has ordered Myanmar to protect Rohingya Muslims and prevent further acts of genocide.
We will ask Namibia and the descendants of the victims for forgiveness.
The country's monarchy has publicly acknowledged its part in the business of slavery.
On 21 October 2021, pastors shared this prophetic word. I am restoring the fortunes of Africa at this hour. What was stolen will be returned. This prophetic word was fulfilled.
Colonial era artifacts known as the Abomi treasures. Now they are to return home.
The Minister of Culture has described the return of the first two artworks by Germany.
And now finally, Libya has received 9 ancient artifacts that were returned by the United States.
On January 2020, pastors shared this. There will be a special focus on the African American community. America, the greatest nation on earth, was built on the backs of African American slaves. Not only will they be recognized for their role in the final judgment, but their descendants will begin to experience favor and recompense in this season. Their role in building America will be acknowledged and recognized, and they will be rewarded for it. This prophetic word was fulfilled.
Now, the Society of Jesus, the Jesuits, have vowed to raise $100 million in an attempt to atone for its role in slavery here in the U.S.
This morning, California's Reparations Task Force, the first of its kind in the nation, has voted to send recommendations for reparations to state lawmakers, saying it hopes to right the wrongs of slavery.
Historic meeting underway tonight in Evanston, Illinois. The Chicago suburb is set to become the first city in America to fund reparations for some of its black residents.
On 4 February 2020, Pastor T.L. Immanuel shared this prophetic word. There will be a reversal of Roe versus Wade, the landmark pro-abortion legislation that's led to the killing of millions of innocent babies. And this prophetic word was fulfilled on 24 June 2022.
At the Supreme Court today, an historic upheaval in a sweeping ruling that overturned a half a century of precedent.
We officially have breaking news regarding the Supreme Court opinion ruling. The U.S. Supreme Court overturning the landmark 1973 Roe v. Wade case.
The impact of today's ruling will be immediate. 13 states have trigger laws that end access to abortion now that Roe is overturned.
On 25 February 2020, pastors shared this prophetic word. We will also begin to see something strange occur in the political arena. Presidents, prime ministers, and other high-ranking state officials will be forced to step down from their positions of power before finishing their terms in office. Some will be removed, and others will resign. Either way, they'll be forced to step down. In 2020 alone, we saw over 20 presidents, prime ministers, and high-ranking officials step down.
First, Sudan faces an uncertain political future following the resignation of its civilian Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok.
It's out of Malaysia, where the Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad has offered his resignation to the king.
Tonight, one of Zimbabwe's vice presidents quits following claims that he sexually propositioned multiple married women.
So we now have confirmation, Robin, that Shinzo Abe, the Prime Minister of Japan, will be resigning after nearly 8 years in office this time around.
And some breaking news out of Lesotho, where the Prime Minister has resigned after months of pressure over murder allegations.
Longtime Seoul City Mayor Park Won-soon was found dead, according to police on Friday.
All of Hong Kong's pro-democracy lawmakers have resigned in protest after the territory's government disqualified 4 of their colleagues.
Bombshell announcement today, New York's Governor Andrew Cuomo revealing he will resign.
On 29 August 2020, pastors saw the Queen of England and her husband, Prince Philip. They were both standing, but then Prince Philip sat down as if to rest. It was as if to signify her continuing, but him stepping down. He looked very tired and incapable of remaining standing or continuing, as it were. This prophetic word was fulfilled on 4 April 2021.
Confirming that the Duke of Edinburgh has died.
The Duke of Edinburgh, a fixture of British life for decades, has passed away.
Prince Philip,
the husband of Queen Elizabeth, has died at the age of 99.
On 18 July 2020, Pastor wrote, "The Queen's passing is imminent." On 29 August 2020, Pastor shared this prophetic word. "I saw the Union Jack, the flag of the United Kingdom, flying at full mast. Then the flag descended and was now at half-mast. The flag went back up again to being at full mast. Then it descended again and was once again at half-mast. Then the pattern repeated several times over, but this time the speed increased. The flag was now going up and down frequently and repeatedly." On 23 July 2020, Pastor T.L. Immanuel shared this prophetic word. "I saw Prince Charles looking sad. He was in the back seat of what seemed like a limousine, but it felt more like a hearse. The mood was definitely that of a funeral. When I saw this vision, it was announced that Prince Charles had contracted the coronavirus. What was odd was that he was not in a coffin, but alive in what looked like a hearse. On 8 September 2022, this prophetic word was fulfilled.
Queen Elizabeth II, Britain's longest reigning monarch, has died.
The Queen has died.
Queen Elizabeth II has died at the age of 96.
On 21 September 2021, Pastor T.L. Immanuel shared the following. "Brace yourself for skyrocketing fuel prices, food shortages, rising inflation, falling markets, and failed currencies. Great calamities ahead for the children of men. I am disrupting the normal order of things. Great changes ahead." This prophetic word was fulfilled.
Prices up 80 cents across California in just the last month.
The prices of petrol and diesel have hit a record high in Pakistan.
Rising prices of food and fuel are a shock.
Now, the British pound has fallen to its lowest level ever against the US dollar.
South Africa has already more than doubled its interest rates over the last 2 years.
This week, stocks have got off to their worst start since 2016.
The country's currency has dropped to the lowest since the early days of Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
On 29 July 2022, Pastor shared the following. "Water shortages are next. It will be a sign and a wonder to many." This prophetic word was fulfilled.
Shortages of water in and around Johannesburg have people seething.
Action from the Department of the Interior today. Nevada will be one of 2 states that will face more water cuts.
Over 300,000 people in the region are facing heavy water supply disruptions.
On 6 June 2021, Pastor T.L. Immanuel shared this prophetic word. "I saw an angel of God suspended in midair, hovering over the South African Broadcasting Corporation, SABC campus in Auckland Park, Johannesburg, South Africa. He was dressed in a beautiful white linen garment. He loomed large over the sprawling SABC campus. He looked like a full-grown man standing above a dollhouse. He was large. Later on, I was reminded of what the Lord had been ministering to me about influential people in general, but South African celebrities in particular, dying in this season. We are going to see something happen within the South African media landscape. We should expect to see actors, actresses, producers, directors, DJs, musicians, models, influencers, media personalities, and many people involved in the broadcasting and media industry start to fall. By fall, I mean die. We are going to see many deaths in the television, radio, and other related media industries. We're going to see stars and superstars fall in this season. I believe this spreads beyond the SABC as an entity, and it relates to the media and broadcasting industry in general. The SABC was the first media and broadcasting corporation in this country. It's therefore seminal, and it gave birth to many others that emerged over the decades. This prophetic word was fulfilled.
It's with great sadness that we confirm the passing of Mr. Shona Ferguson.
Venolia Mashego is being remembered. The 56-year-old passed away.
Casting veteran Bob Mabena has died. He was 51 years old.
The news of the death of rapper Ricardo Macadri, Cooley Roberts recently, and then of course before that actor Patrick Shies.
Political analyst and journalist Eusebius McKaiser, he was 44.
AKA, the 35-year-old rapper was gunned down outside a restaurant.
Multi-award-winning musician Zahara has passed away.
On 26 July 2022, Pastor T.L. Immanuel shared a prophetic word. We would begin to see women ascend to power in roles that were traditionally held by men. This prophetic word was fulfilled.
Dubengube is set to become the first female premier in KwaZulu-Natal.
Now, in a first, Slovenia has elected a woman head of state. Liberal rights advocate Natasha Pierce-Musar.
Peru has the country's first ever female leader. Bulate was sworn into office on the same day.
Well, this is Georgia Meloni. She will be the next far-right politician to lead the country.
On 20 December 2021, Pastor T.L. Immanuel shared the following. Boris Johnson will be rocked by scandal after scandal. Tory party MPs will revolt against their own prime minister. The aim is to remove him and have him replaced with another. Boris Johnson is on his way out.
A recent series of holiday parties could be the cause of his political demise.
In truth, many people have already decided whether they believe Boris Johnson over what's referred to as Partygate.
UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson has turned in his questionnaire that was sent to him about allegations of Downing Street lockdown breaches.
On 20 December 2021, Pastor T.L. Immanuel shared the following. Boris Johnson is on his way out. On 7 July 2022, this prophetic word was fulfilled.
That Boris Johnson is going to step down.
British Prime Minister Boris Johnson resigning today.
The British Prime Minister says he's stepping down.
On 27 July 2022, Pastor T.L. Immanuel shared this prophetic word. Liz Truss to be next Prime Minister. On 6 September 2022, this prophetic word was fulfilled.
Liz Truss as its new leader and the country's prime minister.
Now from the new British Prime Minister Liz Truss.
The UK's third female leader.
On 14 October 2022, Pastor T.L. Immanuel shared this prophetic word. Pastor wrote, Liz Truss is in trouble. Her prime ministership is in jeopardy. Knives are already out to stab her in the back. Like Boris Johnson, her tenure will be characterized by chaos. She will not finish her term. They will have her removed if she's not prayed for. On 20 October 2022, this prophetic word was fulfilled.
Liz Truss announcing her resignation today.
British Prime Minister Liz Truss has resigned.
I am resigning as leader of the Conservative Party.
On 11 September 2020, Pastor T.L. Immanuel shared this prophetic word, the Chancellor of the Exchequer to resign. On 5 July 2022, this prophetic word was fulfilled.
So the Chancellor of the Exchequer, Rishi Sunak, has now resigned.
Rishi Sunak and Sajid Javid, the Health Secretary, both resigning.
Chancellor Rishi Sunak and Health Secretary Sajid Javid both cited issues of integrity in their respective resignations.
On 19 January 2022, Pastor T.L. Immanuel shared this prophetic word. Sunak to ascend to power. On 24 October 2022, this prophetic word was fulfilled.
A short time ago, it was announced that Rishi Sunak is set to become Britain's next Prime Minister.
Tonight, Rishi Sunak named the next British Prime Minister.
The new leader of the Conservative Party is Rishi Sunak.
On 1 January 2023, Pastor T.L. Immanuel shared this prophetic word. The grid collapses, power failures and blackouts you're seeing around the world will increase. Advanced nations many thought would never sit in the dark for prolonged periods of time will do so in this season. This prophetic word was fulfilled.
Much of Pakistan has been plunged into darkness.
The bulk of the outages are in Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, and Mississippi.
A blackout in the middle of the day. Millions of Argentinians were cut off from electricity.
On 16 June 2023, Pastor T.L. Immanuel released this prophetic word. I saw a heavy downpour of rain, followed by hail, followed by snow. The sense I got from the vision was that this was South Africa. The Lord has already warned us about a very cold winter. We should therefore expect more rain, followed by hail and then snow. Perhaps all three will occur at the same time in different areas. On 10 July 2023, this prophetic word was fulfilled.
Into a rare dumping of snow, Johannesburg blanketed by the white stuff.
Well, Gauteng residents experienced a pleasant surprise this morning as the snow fell over many parts of the province.
Now, residents in South Africa's eastern city of Johannesburg woke up to surprise snow on Monday.
On 18 August 2023, Pastor T.L. Immanuel shared this prophetic word. I had a dream, and in this dream I saw the outside of my house, but inside the yard, I saw an innumerable number of hailstones begin to fall from the sky. Mixed with the hailstones were raindrops. It was a lot of rain and a lot of hail. If you live or stay in South Africa, particularly Johannesburg, make sure you have proper weather insurance. On 6 October 2023, Pastor T.L. Immanuel shared the following prophecy. The Lord showed me 3 similar visions. I saw hailstones fall throughout South Africa. The hailstones ranged from small to large. The first vision had normal hailstones, but the second vision had both large and small hailstones. The third vision had only large hailstones. They were bouncing up and down as they hit the ground. I have shared a prophecy about large hailstones before. I believe we're about to see an unprecedented precipitation of hail in South Africa. On 26 July 2023, Pastor T.L. Immanuel shared this prophetic word. I was standing next to a building, in the shade, when I saw a piece of ice fall from the sky as if someone gave it to me because I needed it. Later on, I saw, in the same environment, hail that felt the same size as the block of ice I saw earlier fall throughout the village. It didn't look like normal round hailstones, but a randomly cut block of ice slightly larger than the size of a man's fist. Later on, I saw, in the same environment, hail that felt the same size as the block of ice I saw earlier fall throughout the village. On 14 November 2023, these words were fulfilled.
This is going down harder and harder.
Counting the costs after golf ball-sized hail wreaked havoc last night.
A major hailstorm came out of the blue yesterday, and it brought with it golf-sized hailstorms.
26 July 2023, Pastor T.L. Immanuel shared this prophetic word. I saw myself in a vision. I was in a village in one of the towns in South Africa. I was in Gauteng, in the Northwest Province. I was standing next to a building, in the shade, when I saw a piece of ice fall from the sky as if someone gave it to me because I needed it. But it also felt like this was happening not only in this small village, but other parts of the country as well. The Northwest region and other parts of the country will experience record-breaking heat after winter, to the degree that people will need a lot of ice to stay cool, even in the shade. On 23 November 2023, this prophetic word was fulfilled.
The months of June, July, August, September and October have been the hottest months since the mid-1800s.
The current heatwave in Gauteng, the Free State in the Northwest Province, expected to last until Tuesday.
Now, residents of Gauteng, Eastern Cape, KwaZulu-Natal, Limpopo and Mpumalanga are being warned to expect heat wave conditions this week.
On 2 December 2022, Pastor T.L. Immanuel shared this prophetic word. I saw Argentinian captain Lionel Messi holding the World Cup trophy and kissing it as if they had just won the tournament. He looked like he had just played a soccer match. He was sweaty and wearing his usual number 10 jersey and a captain's armband. I had this vision several times, and each time it lingered. Each time, Messi was holding the World Cup trophy and kissing it, or holding it up as if they had just won the World Cup. On 18 December 2022, this prophetic word was fulfilled.
Breaking news on CBS Sports HQ, Argentina has defeated defending champion France.
Messi's storybook win in Argentina.
2022, the world champions.
On 1 September 2022, before Oscar Pistorius applied for parole, Pastor T.L. Immanuel released this prophetic word, Oscar Pistorius to be released soon. On 24 November 2023, 1 year and 2 months later, this prophetic word was fulfilled. On 24 November 2023, 1 year and 2 months later, this prophetic word was fulfilled.
Oscar Pistorius has been granted parole and will be released from prison on January 5th.
Oscar Pistorius granted parole 10 years after being convicted of murdering his girlfriend.
Double amputee Olympic runner Oscar Pistorius was granted parole on Friday.
On 19 February 2023, Pastor T.L. Immanuel shared this prophetic word. We're entering a season of earthquakes and hurricanes. This prophetic word was fulfilled.
A magnitude 5.0 quake hit the province at 2:38 a.m.
Southern Iceland was rattled today by hundreds of earthquakes, prompting fears of a major volcanic eruption.
In southern Turkey, buildings crumble like sand, obliterated by some of the worst earthquakes in a century.
It's the most powerful tremor to hit Morocco in more than 100 years.
Pastor T.L. Immanuel shared on 8 August 2023, more fires, more volcanoes to erupt, more earthquakes will shake the earth, tectonic plates will shift, and the earth's crust will split. These are the days of the Son of Man. I am bringing my judgment to this world. This prophetic word was fulfilled.
Massive wildfires destroyed the heart of western Maui.
Just 1 week ago, one town you see here had magma rumbling and seeping through its streets.
This morning, they're telling us that the 6.3 magnitude quake struck west of Herat City.
On 11 September 2023, Pastor T.L. Immanuel shared this prophetic word. We'll begin to see incidents around the world that will result in mass deaths. The events will vary in kind such as car accidents, plane crashes, boats sinking, natural disasters, viruses, war, or different weather events. We'll begin to see scores of people pass on in large numbers at the same time because of the same unfortunate event. This prophetic word was fulfilled.
Well, Storm Doksuri hit the country on Friday, bringing almost a month's rainfall to Beijing in just 40 hours.
Investigators are blaming the blaze in Hamdaniya on gross negligence.
Warning, the death toll from flooding in Derna could hit 20,000.
Pastor T.L. Immanuel shared a series of prophetic words regarding war in Israel. On 31 October 2019, Pastor shared this prophetic word. War within Israel to begin soon. On 15 April 2021, Pastor T.L. Immanuel shared the following as part of a longer prophecy. I then saw all kinds of army vehicles being deployed as if preparing for war. I saw army tanks traversing the desert. I saw army personnel in open-top jeep like vehicles driving in a long convoy. Then I heard, once again, the Middle East will go to war. The Middle East will be at war. Once more, Israel will become unstable. Armies of the north will invade the Holy Land and render her unstable. I'll break her economy until she's on her knees with begging bowl in hand. These prophetic words came to fulfillment on 7 October 2023, with the Israel-Hamas war.
We begin tonight with the Middle East in flames. Israel has formally declared war.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has declared a state of war with Hamas.
With Israel declaring a state of war after repeated attacks.
On 9 November 2023, pastors shared that there would be a push to agree for Palestinian prisoners to be released in exchange for Israeli hostages, and by 29 November 2023, this was fulfilled.
War with Hamas tonight, 12 more hostages released by Hamas in Gaza, now back in Israel.
The hostage and prisoner swap between Hamas and Israel to take place today.
The hostage deal calls for Israel to release 3 Palestinian prisoners for every 1 Israeli who is freed.